Oh, you. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of Thicc Talk. On today's episode, wow, 5 episodes, man. We're already into this. 5 deep. That's awesome. I appreciate all the support, you guys. On today's episode, we are kind of doing a 2-for-1 special on this one. We are talking with two awesome streamers. One you've already met before, and a new streamer who is a absolute enjoyment to be around. Love him to death. Great people. What makes these two streamers a little bit more than normal is they have two things in common. They are single game streamers who mainly stream Sea of Thieves. They both stream Sea of Thieves. Love it. Love the game. And you know what, guys? Let's go ahead and meet them.
Pet name.
What's up, guys?
So, like,
how's it going?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Yo.
For those of you will remember my man, Mr. BT Productions. BT, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. New to this Thicc Talk scene, we have our good buddy, Mr. Xjam. Xjam, how you doing, brother?
Dude.
I saw, dude.
Oh.
How's it going?
Appreciate you guys for taking time. What do you say we jump right into this, right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so we've already established that you guys main Sea of Thieves, you're single game streamers. What made you decide to stream just this game? What is it that made you say, I'm going to be a Sea of Thieves streamer, BT?
Honestly, I played the game so damn much, and so many people that I was playing with kept telling me to stream. And then I started playing the game by myself, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm not going to stream. So from there, it was really just playing the game.
Just
Playing the game made me want to stream it.
There you
It
go.
pushed me right into it. I love it.
Jam, what about you, bud?
So for me, every time I play a video game, I've always mained one game until I got sick of it. So it started off with a bunch of different games, but as I got to Sea of Thieves, it just seemed like there was so much potential for clips and content.
The moments.
Yeah, and I started out this game on Xbox, so I was like, I can't stream very clear. Like the quality is pretty bad.
True.
Once I get a PC, I could probably like actually get to it and make something out of this. So that's kind of why I stream the game. I've always been a clip junkie. I love watching clips, man. My clips, other people's clips, they're like memories, you know? So
Right.
once I got into the PC world about a year ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start streaming for my friends, meet some people along the way, and Sea of Thieves just seemed like the right game for it.
Right on. What would you say is a benefit to being a single game streamer? Either one of you can take this one.
You can go ahead, Jim.
All right. Being
Pass
a
the
single game streamer, I don't think I'll always stream only one game. I'd like to get more in the mix. Just right now, Sea of Thieves is the only game that really catches my attention and holds it for a long amount of time. But the benefits is you can build a community off one game. Every day, the community knows when you're live that you're going to be playing the same game that they also like a lot and want to watch someone play. Like if you're a multi-game streamer, people might tune in randomly from here and there or whatnot, but being a single game streamer, it's like
You know the people are there for that.
You know they're coming in for one reason, and it's to watch that game.
That
They wanna
content.
vibe out. They probably play that same game. They might want to learn the game. And if you stream like multiple games, they might not know what they're getting when they get there. So
True. BT, you got an answer?
What was the question again? Sorry,
So
I got
what
distracted.
would you say is a benefit to being a single game streamer?
Getting your roots planted in one community. You know what I mean? Like there's a Twitch community for games, and then there's the community for the game.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You got to get your roots planted in one or the other. You know what I mean? I feel like getting down in one game could really just help you grow that way. You know what I mean? You got all these other people that you're hanging around with. Everybody's supporting and hanging out. it just always seemed like and like Jam said, people know what they're coming into. People come back for the same thing. They could be just joining in, and they don't really know. You could be playing this game this day, you playing this game the next. People like consistency. They like what they like. They don't want to watch you play other stuff.
True. What about if you had like a set schedule? Like, you think that could make it work? Like, to that benefit? Like, say it's okay. It's Monday, so you're gonna be playing Rust or Rocket League or something like that, and then like if they know ahead of time, throughout the week, if you stream throughout the week, you know what I mean. Do you think that having that schedule would make the variety streamer more popular, or in that
I mean,
aspect?
it could, but then you still could be limited. You know what I mean? Because then those people are only going to show up for this day. Those people are only going to show up for this day. They might not show up for the whole entire week. They'll just watch. They'll tune in. They'll just tune in when they want to. What
When they
they're
want,
watching.
right?
When they want to see what they.
Would you say
Twitch is just super fickle?
True.
Yeah, I think
always...
if you're gonna stream multiple games, that's the way to do it. Like, stream one game on specific days, so that way, if someone, like, say you want to play like some wildly different games, like say you play Pokemon and you play Call of Duty, like a lot of people aren't gonna want to watch you play Pokemon, but they might love your clips from Call of Duty or whatnot. So if you like to play both, and like most people do play multiple games, it would be helpful for people to know that you were going to stream Pokemon on Wednesday or whatnot.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So would you agree then that it's almost like based on your response to the benefit, can that also be like a double-edged sword in a sense for the downside of being a single game streamer? Because yeah, everybody that's there is, they're into it for that one game, but are you like limiting yourself from potential other viewers at the same time? You know what I mean? Does that...
Yeah, you only have so much time in a day.
True.
So if you're going to if you're focused on growing your stream, I think maining one game is the best thing to do, because like everyone keeps coming back for it. If you're streaming multiple games, it's like essentially getting half the amount of gameplay of each game.
Mm-hmm.
So if I stream 5 days a week Sea of Thieves, people are coming back because they know when I'm live, they're going to watch Sea of Thieves content.
Right.
And if I'm doing, like, there's only so much time in a day. So if they're coming in and they see I'm playing Rust, for example, because I've played Rust a few times on stream, they might be intrigued by the game, but they're not like vibing out the same as they would if I was playing Sea of Thieves.
True.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough. It's tough. Like I've tried. In the beginning of stream, I used to just play whatever I wanted, and then I realized, because you need to also put your content everywhere.
Right.
You can't just stream on Twitch. I think everybody knows that at least.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah.
If you just stream on Twitch, it's not going to help you. You need to put your content on Instagram. We've started, all of us here have started putting TikToks up, and the Instagram world, all of that.
Exposure.
I think that's the main reason why I've seen so much growth in my own channel, is because of sharing clips constantly, almost daily.
Yeah.
YouTube videos, TikToks, Instagram clips, all of it.
True.
There's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's not as simple.
Think about this. Think about trying to edit together multiple different types of games for like different types of videos on YouTube. I don't know about you guys, but that would stress me the hell out. Trying to put together all of that different content in an effective manner to where it's either entertaining or funny, whatever the goal may be. It just wouldn't work for me. I would be putting out half-ass content in comparison to what I could be doing if I'm putting all my focus on one game, because then I could figure out what kind of style videos I like to put out. And it's not based off of which game I'm playing. It's just based off what I'm doing inside of a single game. It just seems a lot, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier for me, at least. And it definitely, the content speaks for itself when you watch whoever you're looking at,
You know what you're getting.
Exactly.
True. Would you
also, once you stream one game long enough, then you build a community and people get attached to you rather than just the game they're watching.
Exactly.
So streaming one game constantly helps with that aspect of it too.
Yeah,
True.
because if they want to keep coming back to watch what you're playing, they're gonna keep interacting with you.
You
It's gonna
become
build a
friends.
relationship. Yeah, then it becomes more than just like, all right, this guy's just a viewer, or opposed to now we're friends. Like Jam said, this is a community. I'm friends with these people. It's not just a viewer streamer thing. These are friends. This is like a whole family thing. It's really cool,
Right.
and it really helps just having one game to just solidify everything. People want,
That you can all
they
come
come
together
like you
on.
say, it all comes back to people want to see what they want to see, and you putting out funny clips. You can't get the same kind of clips that you can get from you can get on like Call of Duty or like whatever other game you want to play. You know what I mean?
Right. Would you say that being a single game streamer has kind of ruined your idea for other games? Like you don't even really pay attention to new games that could be coming out. You're just so focused on this one.
No,
Some,
honestly.
well, for me sometimes, because I know my viewers want to watch Sea of Thieves content. Not all of them, but like a lot of them are there for Sea of Thieves because we have such good game knowledge of it that they want to watch that happen in real time and watch and learn. So, but if like a new game comes out, I'm down to try it, but I usually try it off stream because I don't have the
Yeah.
amount of experience in that game that I have in Sea of Thieves.
Right.
So I feel like my level is just way up higher in Sea of Thieves than it is in a new game that I just start playing. So if I'm not performing to like my highest level on another game that I just tried, I think people might not want to watch it.
That's another great point though with the teaching. You know what I mean? I have multiple people that come back looking for tips and
Tips and tricks
tricks and
and
how tos. You know what I mean?
still waiting on
Whereas
that
if I'm in a
controller
different
YouTube
game,
video.
yeah, exactly though. You see what
This
I'm
guy's
saying?
got
You see
the
what I'm saying?
weirdest controller layout for Sea of Thieves
You
I've
see what
ever
I'm
seen
saying?
in my life, by the way.
There you go. There it is. Like
I feel like me
that right
when I
there.
played on controller, I probably played the same as BT though.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
Me
what
and
what do you think
Jim,
is weird about
The
it? The
jump,
right
stick,
the
stick
jump,
jump.
the right
the
stick.
jump
That's the
is.
Yeah.
that's the
But for
best thing I've
me,
ever done
It's
in controller.
dude, it's because if especially me, I have a very slow sensitivity. You know what I mean? I'm not dude, I'm old, man.
hmm
I gotta go slow, I gotta go slower. That
Yeah.
helps me compensate for having a slow sensitivities. I can move and jump and just freely look around without any issues because I don't have to jump from the right stick to the A button and then come back. You know what I mean? I don't have
If
to do
you're
that back
watching
and forth.
this right now and you're a controller player on any game, try setting jump to your right stick pressed in
or just get a
because
scuff
like you
controller.
It'll take a couple
almost
weeks from you.
almost
It'll help
every
you.
game you play on controller, the jump button is A, which means you have to
Everyone.
remove your thumb off of your movement sticks to
That's
press
why
that
I
button.
use a scuff controller because my
Well,
my
yeah, I mean, if you have a scuff controller, it's different. You can paddles
Yeah,
these
you
my
got
days.
paddle
multiple
my paddle
paddles.
on the
For
backs.
those of us
I've
who
been
plug in their Xbox controllers
I've
and
been
use
jumping on
this.
A before scuff controllers even existed. So that's how I've always learned games. It's always been
That's
either
crazy.
slide or jump, depending on how important jump is in a game.
True. Would you consider changing your main game to another game if you were certain your current viewership would follow you to that new game, or would you want to stay with Sea of Thieves no matter what?
If I
At this
enjoyed
point,
the game enough,
Yeah, I'm always gonna play what is the most fun to me.
yeah,
I'm never gonna play a game that I don't like and
yeah.
am sick of.
Even if the viewership would increase, I couldn't go to a game that I only half enjoy because you got to remember we're putting 4 minimum hours, upwards of 8 hours into streaming every day.
mm-hmm.
I can't half enjoy a game for 8 hours a day. I gotta play the right game in order to enjoy and produce good content. Quite frankly, I can't produce content for a game that I don't enjoy fully. So if it's a game that I thoroughly enjoy and I know, we can move on from Sea of Thieves and everybody will still kind of stick around, like I'm down, I'm open for that. because eventually it'll happen. It happens
Right.
with everybody's stream.
Right.
They move on from one main game and they break free. That's the ultimate goal, really, is to be able to play whatever you want, right? You just got to continue building and establishing in that one community so you can build your community so where it doesn't matter what you're playing. They're just like Jam said, they're here for you instead of what you're playing because they spent enough time there to build a relationship.
Right.
In my old age, I've
Oh,
learned that
stop.
I like a certain type of game.
True.
He
I
said
learned that I
old
like
age.
open world games, and I'm
Mhm.
sure when Sea of Thieves isn't cutting it for me and isn't as fun as it used to be, I'll find another open world game that I can do the same kind of things in.
So
That
like an
game right
MMO.
now isn't. Yeah, I like MMOs. I grew up playing MMOs. But just
They've got some
like
good ones coming out, man. I'm just throwing it
yeah,
out there. It's gonna be tough.
I'm
The
excited.
MMO world is getting their shit together, and it's gonna. I know BT's gonna dabble in, and I'm sure when he gets his PC going, I got a feeling. Am I right, or am I off on that one?
Oh yeah, I'd probably off stream, of course. I'm gonna be experiencing all types of games.
Right. Let's. You know what? We've got the single game part down. Let's focus a little bit more on the Sea of Thieves side. The new Plunder Pass. What do you guys think of it? As it sta-
Cosmetic wise,
as it stands, cosmetic.
cosmetic wise, kind of weird. But the bringing people back to the game and keeping people playing is good. I've never been a fan of like cosmetics in games, and like I like to rock them and stuff, but that's not like one reason why I play a game.
Right.
But I know a lot of people like that aspect of it, and I don't know. To me, it's just kind of blah. But the fact that it's keeping people playing, they're out doing challenges, keeping the seas interesting, keeping the servers full. I like it. I don't think there's
Absolutely.
anything wrong with it.
What about you, BT? What do you think of this one?
Yeah,
Second
I
one.
agree. I mean, this specific season pass, it's got its ups and downs. But like he said, I really like that they're putting fresh content out. The only people I've heard complain about this game are people that won't ever be satisfied with anything that anybody does for the game. You know what I mean? Like the ones that are genuinely upset with the thing. You know what I mean? Like we all have our complaints about it. It's got its problems, but besides that, I think it's fantastic. I think they're doing a really good job. The cosmetics are what they are, and like he said, I never play a game for the cosmetics. I play it for the experiences that we have on it, and they're just a nice addition. It's nice to have a nice looking gun or a sword or something, or you guys should see Jam's pirate on there. Quite frankly,
There's a couple
the
of us that run
cosmetics make
around
it
with some.
fun.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they make it fun. They make it a better experience. Because you can do some weird shit with them. They just added an emote that you can hide in a barrel. I'm sure we're all familiar with it. You become an actual barrel, and for those of you that don't know,
That's huge.
barrels are huge in Sea of Thieves. They are where you get your supplies from, your health, your ship repairs, your cannonballs and such. That's where you get them. So to be able to hide as one, that's a game changer. It's hysterical. The things that you can pull off.
On the topic
So
of cosmetic
I think they're
wise,
doing great.
do you think that them kind of configuring old skins and just slightly changing them and reproducing them, do you think that is a smart play or something, or should they be focused on maybe some all around like new original cosmetics? Like for example, the aristocrat set. It's a remake. The
Yeah, I
whole
have
the
mixed
whole
opinions about that.
the
I don't know. See,
the
I don't mind having like different colored of the same cosmetic because that could be cool.
Yeah.
But also,
when you
like,
pay the
I
money
think,
or gold for it.
yeah, I think it's more of like a pandemic kind of thing right now. Them all working from home. I don't think they have the ability to really dump as much time into making brand new cosmetics. In a way, I feel like it's kind of a cop out to reskin some items, but in the same way, like you might like one item a lot more in one color and not like it at all another color. So,
Do you
but like I
think
said, I'm not super all about like cosmetics, so like I have mixed opinions because I don't really mind either way.
Yeah, the game could have nothing in it, and I would still, you know what I mean. It wouldn't matter. It would be, if anything, it would be pretty fun to just look around and see the game without any added cosmetics or anything like that. But I don't know. I think what they're doing right now is what they can. You know,
Half the
like
time,
Jam
me and
said.
PG leave the outpost with white sails. So
Yeah, you know what I mean. We leave the outpost with
True.
white sails and plain ships.
Diaper sales.
And
That's what we call it.
I'm naked with underwear on in that game like 99% of the time.
True.
I don't even wear clothes in that game. So you know, it's kind of it's on and off with me because I really don't mind it. I think some of the stuff that they're cool colors and stuff, and they do, you know, and they look nice. They look nice.
Right.
I'll give it to them. But I'll give them some time, and because I would like to see some new stuff. You know, I
That
would
Dark
like to see some
Adventure set.
original stuff.
That Dark Adventure set was a huge drawback, I think, to a lot of people. When people started to see that, I think a lot of people's eyes kind of went, I need this. And especially, I think everybody will agree with me, the sales. The sales on the Dark Adventure set
Oh, yeah,
were
it's
something that
amazing.
we've been
The whole
asking
set.
for. The whole set is immaculate. Don't get me wrong, but the sales,
Absolutely.
I feel like anybody who was starting to save up because they didn't have the money originally, like very few of us had the what was it like 38 million or something to buy the whole
Yeah,
set
it's
right
like
off the rip.
60 mil for everything.
So when the boat originally came out, because the boat came out before all the outfits and stuff like that, the sales were top tier. That was straight up right to the point of what I feel like we've all kind of been asking for, because there's two boats in mind that the sales have just been. It's the brig and the galleon, but those sales are a game changer, and that was, I think, one of their biggest, smartest ideas, I should say, in a hot
they're
minute.
tactical. They're game changing.
They
especially
are.
for PvP players being able to see.
You
it
could see
clearing your line of sight
boards.
from
Yeah,
the
you could
field
see
to
boards.
in front of your boat.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
that's like those sales are pretty much the only reason I leave the outpost with cosmetics on sometimes.
I still haven't gotten
No
them.
other cosmetics, just to say. I don't even have the damn.
I'm at 4 mil right now. I need another 4 mil. So I guess you know.
I
I
keep
like them.
spending.
I like them
I do
adding real expensive items to the game, though. Adding expensive items.
They needed
keeps
to, because there was
players with a
just
lot of money
right.
in
I
their
mean,
pockets already playing for. You know, they need to get that money back up.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's so
And
many
yeah, 'cause then
players that
now
were
you
sitting
never
so much
know.
money.
They're gonna come out with some more expensive stuff. They're gonna come out. They're gonna keep throwing stuff at us I feel like every couple of months, something really huge. It gives people something to work for, and you're not just aimlessly playing the game. Because I know before that it was getting, you know what I mean? It's getting a little repetitive. It's
Well,
just
yeah.
kinda,
Once you
we
get
go
there's
out
like
here,
an
we
order
steal, what's the point?
operations. There's like an
Yeah.
order operations with the game. The first objective in the game, obviously, is to get Pirate Legend, and then it's to get max on all your reputations. And then once you pretty much hit max on reputations, then it's pretty much about just either achievements, accommodations, or
things.
money.
Yeah.
That's it. So, or unless you're an arena person, which I mean, I've dabbled my fair share in arena. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I think
Trying to
that
get BT involved in it.
Yeah, they're getting me. Well, tomorrow we're starting because now I got to do that too. Because
Him and
I
our
might as well.
Kelly B need to race to legendary Sea Dog,
oh
or as we like to call them, Tree Frogs.
Tree frogs.
Tree
That's really what they. That's the only thing. It's the only appropriate thing to call them at this point.
right. The new fort. What do we think about the new fort? The Fort of Fortune. What do we think about that?
I like it. I like it. I think it's a great addition.
What
I
about
think they needed it.
what about it is like stands out the most? You think?
The loot,
The loot.
the amount of stuff that you get out of killing a fort down like that is unheard of.
Absolutely. And it gives
Never
another
seen
reason
this.
for Chest of Legends too, which is something I feel like a lot of people are still, I'm not Athena 20 yet. I'm still working on that, but I know it's definitely what you can get as a fresh Athena from one fort. You almost get 5. You get pretty close, I think. to
You get
5.
at least 4. You're getting guaranteed level 4 emissary flag.
Right.
just doing that for it.
What I think is better about it, though, is the fact that it's a random spawn like other forts. You're not
Yeah.
hunting Fort of Dams anymore so much. Like, a Fort of the Dam is still, exciting to see, but you have a much higher chance of running into a Fort of the Fortune now versus a Fort of the Damned. And if you're extremely lucky, you get both. You know what I mean? Because one has to be triggered from other players versus just a random spawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I agree. I love everything about it, man. I think it's good for PvE focused players and PvP focused players. Um, it takes a long time to finish it, especially if there's multiple ships involved, which is what I think people want. Like, that's what I think the developers want too. I think they want to keep people on one server rather than people server hopping. If I didn't have to
Yeah.
server hop for PvP as much, that's the best thing that they could add to the game.
right.
I love it, man. I love
You could
everything about
spend
it.
2 to 3
Pulling up
hours
there,
on one
fighting
server versus.
fighting multiple boats for hours. That's
Yeah,
what I want.
you'd
That's
say
exactly
in
what I
Jam,
want.
you'd say your servers have been longer, right?
Yeah, my servers have been longer. They feel nice, man. Usually, like in a stream, I could do like 7, 8 servers, but with Fort of Fortunes and finding people doing them and active ones, it's usually like 2, 3 servers. It's cut my server hopping down in like half. Just as much content, just as much battles. Yeah, I like everything about it.
Agree.
Yeah, that's another big thing is the server hopping, especially as a streamer. You can't just sit there hopping servers for so long. Well, you have to. At the end of the day, you have to. You got to get something. You got to get something going.
Speaking
But
of
you can only do that for so long.
Right.
You got to find something because you can't keep hopping.
speaking of server hopping, there's been a lot of I don't want to say upset, but like between Reddits and other people's communities and stuff like that, a lot of people are really frustrated with server hopping as a meta, if you would say. Why do you think that is?
Well, there's like a couple of reasons. I've thought about this before, but I think mostly bigger streamers in this game who are PvP oriented have a lot of servers gifted to them.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm on Reddit, I almost always see people complaining about bigger streamers getting gifted servers, which I don't have a problem with. But that's also because I like PvP,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that that's fine. But I don't know. I typically don't like to look at Reddit because a lot of people on there are just like really, really like salty
Whiny.
and sad and whiny about things.
Mm-hmm.
If I post anything on there, I know I'm gonna get a negative response.
I never
So,
post on Reddit. I will read stuff every now and then, but I never have ever
Yeah.
had a desire to post on
Yeah,
Reddit.
I've never even read it.
I feel though. I don't know. I don't think like I think less people have a problem with server hopping than it's portrayed. I think
Mhm.
it's just a couple people who speak louder than others to
True.
get their voice heard.
Right.
But,
Very true.
yeah, that's like I think that's the only thing I really see people have a problem with is because these good crews, not even big streamers, just sweaty crews get gifted high stakes servers
Mhm.
with lots of amount of loot involved. Could be an alliance server that people have set up, and it's just one boat that comes in and takes them all out. Happens to the one person one time, and they feel that way forever.
What do you think, BT?
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It's not a bunch of people. It's just a few really loud people. They got upset that their perfect little server didn't work out, and all their hours of doing this and that got ruined. That you're losing sight of the game at that point. You know what I mean? You're not even playing the game right at that point. If you ask me, you're losing sight of everything. The whole game is for the enjoyment, the experience along the way. It's not really about just getting. If you play the game to dig treasure and sell gold for gold,
There's meant to be some risk involved for sure.
Exactly. It's got to have some experience. There's got to be something along with it. If you're playing it like that, then you're gonna get upset all the time. You're never gonna be happy with that game.
Do you feel like the game would get more growth, more exposure if the PvP aspect like that wasn't so intense. Like you said, like a lot of people I feel like will get on a server, they'll spend a couple hours doing these quests, and then like they'll have guys like all of us, like we all do it. I'm as guilty of it as any of them. I don't even want to say guilty because it's part of the game, but
Yeah.
do you think like that right there though is the reasoning for why the game hasn't gotten to that top tier level of gaming yet? Like I feel like the game has the potential, but do you think that's what's holding it back? Is because kids
No.
try to get involved in it, they get run up on. You know what I mean?
My biggest
Some of it, yeah.
experience.
Well, I've said this for a
I'll
while.
say a little bit, but more or less, I'll say the game is slow. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. Yeah, what I was gonna say is like if you're a new player, you get thrown into the same server as players like us with
True.
2,000 plus hours, which
Right.
for a lot of people is gonna be really frustrating and really annoying, especially whenever you're going to do your first gold hoarder mission and you dig up 3 chests that are low tier value and we sink you and we take your loot and it happens 5 times in a row. I think there does need to be a change for things like that because yeah, that's going to get people uninterested in the game and they might just try it on Game Pass or something. It might be, you know what, hey, this pirate game looks kind of fun. I should give it a try. They log on. It takes 30 minutes to download. They're on a server for an hour. They get sunk, lose everything, and then they never play it again. So, I mean, yeah, there is that part of it that um that kind of like takes away from the growth of the game, but in a big scale, I don't think that's how it is for everybody. For in some cases, in many cases, it's like that, but not on the grand scale of the game. I think if they keep working on pushing it to other platforms, like they pushed it to Steam, and if they end up pushing it to PlayStation or whatnot, um, I don't think people will be so discouraged at that point.
That's a great point with the PlayStation. You got to think about how many other games are on all platforms. You know what I mean?
Except
This game is
PlayStation.
solely on Xbox. It's not on you can get it on PC now, and you can obviously get it on Steam, but it's not in terms of consoles. You can't get how you gonna I know a bunch of PlayStation players that would love to have this game.
Right.
I don't know what the reasoning is behind not having the game available for
money.
PlayStation users.
It's-
Yeah, but like what?
It's
It's got to be more.
capitalism for sure.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah,
It's
for
just
sure.
Microsoft just holding the struggle because it's Sony.
That's why so many games have
they have to keep that
are tied to one
separation.
platform.
They have to keep that idea of
we can all agree it
separation.
would help.
Oh, I
It would
agree. It definitely would open up the player base, but at the same time, we're talking about the Hatfields and the McCoys here. You know what I mean? Like
never
these guys are never gonna see eye to eye because one, they're battling each other, but what they really don't realize is they're battling the bigger demon of the bunch, which is PC. You know what I mean? When you open up games like this from console and cross platform them, you're opening them up like we talked about this in the first episode where consoles have definitely made great strides in being able to compete and keep up with PC players, but that difference between Sony and Microsoft that's always going to be a struggle where I don't see it anytime soon. I guess you could say for them to get to see this game. I would love it,
I mean, you
but
never really know. We've seen it with Fortnite. Fortnite broke down so many barriers where
true.
Fortnite could have only been released on console or only been released on PlayStation compared to Xbox. But because it was so big, it actually was able to break those barriers, and people could play PlayStation and Xbox together in the same voice comms in the same lobby.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild, man. That was literally the first time we've ever seen that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if a game's big enough, it could definitely happen. But I don't know. It's pretty rare to see that.
True.
I was so stoked when I got to play Fortnite with some of my friends who were on PlayStation because
Dude, that
since
was a
middle school,
huge thing.
we went our separate ways with consoles, and then we never got to
Yeah.
play together again.
Mm-hmm.
Now they opened up the door. They opened up the whole floodgate.
I was gonna say they didn't open up a door. That was
Yeah,
release the
it was like a
river
door.
kind
Yeah,
of
the
thing.
door was. It was more like a flood. It was ridiculous, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then and not only PlayStation, PC, and what is it? The little Nintendo
Switch.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I could play on my phone. You can play that game fucking everywhere.
So yeah, it could
Literally.
definitely be done. Like, I don't know. I think that's how the game grows. I think it's a very slept on game. And if they keep releasing it and pushing it new places, that's how I think it will grow.
I
So-
agree.
On the context of seeing it grow, what would be another? I think we talked about this on the first episode, but I want to see what Jam's idea is. What would be something that Sea of Thieves would need to do to really grasp that player base? You know what I mean? Something different.
Like
Man.
a new player base,
Either a new
Or
player
like-
base or give
keep people playing.
keep people playing, something like that.
I think the battle pass idea is a very good idea. I just think they're doing it a little bit wrong.
How so?
It keeps people interested. There's going to be an update every time one battle pass ends. There's challenges to do. Like they've added the new fort this update. They add new stuff almost every update, but this scheduled update time frame is, I think, what's going to keep the game alive. People know there's going to be an update every 2 months or something. They might play for the first month, take the second month off. Then the next month they play for the first month, take the second month off. I think it'll have a constant rotation of players coming in and out of the game.
Yeah, and then they tell their friends about it once in a while. You never know. They want to. They on that off month, they meet somebody that they really like gaming with, and then the new update's coming around, and they're like, "Hey, you should try this out. This game's about to release a new update. It's free on the Game Pass. We could just get into some nonsense. We're sailing around on ships. We could fight giant sharks, or we could fight players. You know what I mean? We can go dig treasure or fight skeletons or whatever the hell you want to do. You could sail around and look at shit all night if you wanted to.
Right. It's a pretty game.
People do
It's-
that.
it's
There
a
are people that
beautiful
exist on
game.
this game that get on the game and just sail around and
It's
look
peaceful.
at stuff and visit islands. You know what I mean? That like Jam said, that cycle. They could meet somebody and then it just keeps growing. And then you never know. Maybe that person really loves it and they stay on every month.
Right.
You know?
I know we.
Yeah, this game really just grows by word of mouth.
Yeah.
I think since I've started streaming, I've probably had between 10 and 20 people download the game, try it, and find out they really like it and play it regularly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
pretty much every month I continue streaming, there's more people that are in that same boat.
What about, and BT, I don't know if you remember this, but we talked about it. What about adding an entire new map? Something that is new to everybody at this point. You know what I mean? I feel like that alone, like, take other games, for example, Fortnite, Call of Duty just nuked their main battle royale area. What do you think would be either good or bad about completely adding in another map? Not getting rid of the old one per se, because you got to think of games like PUBG, for instance. They have 4 or 5 different maps, whereas when you go to launch, it's a randomizer as to which one you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that wouldn't work with Sea of Thieves, I don't think.
Yeah, I have mixed opinions about that too.
I think it's not like Call of Duty. It's not like Fortnite, because there are stories behind islands.
Absolutely.
There's a lot behind all of this stuff. So to get rid of it would be, I think, irresponsible. Like
No, not
severely
get rid of it. What
irresponsible.
I'm saying is like,
No,
okay,
not even just, but like randomizing it too. Even adding in a bunch of multiple different maps, that would definitely take it out. You know what I mean? It wouldn't
but I
add
feel
to it, and
like,
then adding something to select different maps wouldn't. It would just divide the community a little bit, and it would spread everybody out 1,000 different ways. I think adding parts to the map would be the best idea.
I agree
Like they
too.
did to the Roar.
additions to it.
They add additions. They don't take away. They don't add a whole other one so you can get, you could possibly get this one. Or because what if you don't like that one?
Right.
What if you want to play on that one? Then what do I got to do? I got to hop 1,000 times just to get the one that I like. And if that server that I get is terrible, then what? I got to do that all over again. That's exhausting. So just adding different.
So you think there's
segments to the map
space?
like they
Yeah.
did, that's where if they started doing things like that and creating entire new places for people to go, I don't think it will go over as well. People are very comfortable on Sea of Thieves. You know
I
what I
agree.
mean?
Yeah, I don't think they should add another map either. I like the
They're
idea
very comfortable. They don't like
more islands.
they don't like massive stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that people would like. That's somewhere they can, because they can go venture out there and they can get a little scared. They can come back and they can go where it's familiar. They can just.
What
The only
about the
problem with
ideology?
Yeah, the only problem I see with them like adding new stuff is like that's when the optimization stuff comes into play. You'll get into servers that start to get laggy, and if you're playing on Xbox still, you won't be able to enjoy the game as much. So like a whole nother thing would be cool, like a whole nother full map would be cool, but at the same time, then you lose all of like the story and the lore behind Sea of Thieves because all the lore is attached to those islands. If you're doing like the Tall Tales
Yeah.
or all the immortalizations of player usernames that are engraved on rocks or whatever on tavern doors, wherever they are,
Right.
you kind of lose that whole half of the game.
Yeah.
And like what they did with Fortnite, like erasing the map and stuff was cool, but like not being able to go back and play that like the old map, which is nostalgic for most players. I don't know. I don't think that's the way to do it. Like even if the old map's still available to get, people are just going to be hopping servers to get the new map or whatnot because they're excited for the new content.
What about the ideology though that like I'm trying to think of how to word this. For people who have been on the game for an extremely long time, well, all of us have had this game for a very long time. We know all the aspects of the game. There's not much new to kind of figure out. We know all the tuck spots on the boats. We know all the glitch spots to black screen yourself back onto the boat. We know all that on almost, I'd say at least 80 to 90% of the islands. We know all that. What about bringing that aspect out to having new discoveries like that? Like I think that's what would intrigue me. Like changing the boats up maybe a little bit, trying to find those new, because like tucking in and of itself, yeah, it's still plausible to those new players. But when you get a play, up against another player who obviously like us who knows everything about it, the odds are that tuck's not gonna go very well. But
That's a cool idea. I never really thought about that.
That's like what I mean. That discovery. That's really what made Sea of Thieves. If you talk to people like I've sat and I've talked to like CJ and Coop and people like that. Coop. That's what made them indulge in this game, was because that was an aspect of a game that you could not get anywhere else. You could not be on somebody else's boat or on somebody else's area and just hide somewhere and just kind of feel like you're 009 and a half and you know what I mean? I think that would be a huge uprise and bringing back a lot of players that might feel like the game has gotten a little stale in that sense. Like, yeah, this new fort has brought new things, definitely, 100%. The new trade routes, which we're going to talk about a little bit too. I just think like that aspect in the content wise could be game changing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
your whole idea of like bringing in new ships, maybe having the option between choosing between like 10 ships compared to 3 different ships, whether it's based on speed or like
Stability.
stealth, like have just like a different ability for each boat. That sounds awesome to me. I would love
That
that.
would be that'd be
That
pretty
that's
cool.
not that sounds so much cooler than like new terrain rather
Yeah,
than
yeah,
new
because
islands.
we like what we have. Because I can always find new things about. You'll never stop finding things out about these islands in this map.
Like
There is
imagine there's
always going to
just
be something new, you know?
yeah, imagine there's just one boat that would be perfect for loot hauls is like
Yeah,
it doesn't sink as easy. Like it's a lighter boat. So
yeah,
therefore it doesn't fill up with water faster. Like
Right.
you'd be finding these loot hauls that are like a challenge to sink, even if it's a newer player, you know what I mean?
yeah. It would
Like,
put a whole new challenge on the game, and that's
yeah.
really what we're always looking for.
True.
So that would be pretty cool, you know? Because
Just
I'm
an
not
option.
necessarily looking for like new to like reset everything. Give newer players an advantage and make it a little more challenging for us. You know, that's the way to keep it for me. In my opinion, that's the way to keep everybody's interest. Keep the new players and old players happy by giving them a little bit more of an advantage. Give them a reason to play the damn game and stay on it. Give them a fighting chance,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and make us fight for it a little harder. It would do nothing but improve our gameplay, you know, and it would just make the game that much better. You know, like he said, people would be doing these crazy hauls. You know, they'd have a ton of treasure all over their ships. They would feel more comfortable, more confident, knowing that their ship was stronger or, like he said, lighter, you know, or whatever the case may be. It might make them want to fight a little bit more for it
Mm-hmm.
and have a little bit more fun with it as opposed to just, you know,
I love
getting
the
shit
idea of
sunk the same
making
way.
things easier for new players and harder for experienced players.
Right.
Yeah.
Because all experienced players want a challenge. They want it to feel rewarding. They want to feel like they've worked for something.
Right.
Because they have all the advantage in game knowledge over the new player, it should be harder for them, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
absolutely.
I
I
mean,
agree.
there's a new challenge. I don't know if you've seen it, but Coop was doing it back about I think it was a little less than a month ago. Like trying to get Pirate Legend without dying. Have you seen people try this?
Yeah, I saw there was some hardcore modes. I never
That
really
was
tried or I never watched anyone do it, but that's a cool idea. Like that's a nice way to switch things up for sure.
that was mind-boggling to even attempt that. Like
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
died to Skellies on a damn fort. You telling me you're gonna try to make it to Pirate Legend
Yeah.
without dying one time? Come on, man. Like
Well,
that.
also people are bringing stuff like speed runs into this game, which is also huge for the game.
Oh,
We were
like
Yeah,
talking
speed
about this
runs
the
in
other
this game
day.
would be huge.
we're
Like when an Ashen Winds pops up, so like the time starts when you officially spawn the boss, and because there's that thing, people love doing that kind of thing. You're gonna have a whole like new outlook and player base that comes into the game if they're all trying to just finish a skull fort as fast as they can and
But here's
whatnot.
the thing with that. Like, I don't disagree with the speedrunning part. Here's my problem with it, though. You cannot compare, like, say somebody, what was the record as of now? Like,
With a galley, it's like a minute 40 or something for
okay.
the
It was
Ashen.
So
70
here,
something seconds. Yeah.
but what island was it on? Just out of curiosity, did it
Oh,
say?
I
I
don't
think
know.
I think
But
that's
here,
part of the strat. Like it's
it's got to
Ashen
be
Winds,
on a
but on
certain
the island.
island to make it efficient because the island
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah,
Oh
The
yeah.
absolutely.
island matters. The fort matters if you want to do a fort. Like boat positioning, like it's not like speed running Mario where it's the exact same every time you try it. You know what I mean? You're talking about speed running, on Lone Cove versus Devil's Ridge. Two totally different boat positionings that you would need depending on what boat you have. It's
Mhm.
definitely intriguing, I guess you could say, but I would throw discouragement at it at the same time. I don't know, it's weird.
I
Um,
like the fact that it could be ran because that just makes it all the more challenging, you know.
oh, of course, like you
And
said, everybody loves the challenge.
it can only be good, you know. it can only be good for the game because it brings a lot more players' eyes to it. It brings that community is huge, dude. The
Plus,
speed
people like new
Oh, yeah.
players would be impressed watching people do those attempts.
exactly.
Oh,
They would
absolutely.
learn so much from it. They would learn every little exploit you could do in the game to not only make that event faster, but to help you in just like keeping your boat alive, like learning how to X cancel bucket your ship to keep it alive faster and
Right.
easier. Like there's all these little things we do that could be incorporated in that kind of thing that people could pick up on really quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
I don't think speedrunning is a huge part of Sea of Thieves or anything, or it should be, but I think it could
Well,
definitely
it
be a
could
part
be.
of it.
You never know. Yeah, because once it's picked, like I've already started hearing about it, right? So this is never something I would go looking for.
Right.
Anytime I've ever seen something about a speed run, there's been somebody telling me something about it.
Right.
Speed running is cool. It's just not something I'll go looking for. So if I'm hearing about it by this point, then it's got to be picking up some kind, because people are talking about it. More people are talking about it, and then I'll start seeing it regularly.
Right.
So I'm hoping it can still pick up because man, there's endless opportunities when it comes to speed running on Sea of Thieves. I think we can all agree it would take quite a long time to run out of things to speed run on Sea of Thieves. It could just be a fantastic thing, and hopefully, I'm thinking though it could pick up some steam. It could really get rolling.
Let's change it up a little bit. What do we think about the new trade routes? The new merchant trade routes as a viable commodity
So I
here.
don't know much about them, but I know that they're super valuable. And if I'm hunting down a boat and I find those crates on board, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
As a grade 5 Reaper, almost every one of those crates is worth like 9K gold, which is pretty insane.
That is.
I haven't really done my research on it, but I have a few people who have told me about them and said they've maybe gained for like 20 hours total and made like 10 mil, which is an absurd amount of gold, especially not being on an alliance server and stuff like that.
So the way it works is obviously you would need to get your emissary rep up for merchant. So you would do one of those quick manifest voyages, get yourself to level 5 real quick. So the ideology behind this is each outpost has a favored crate, right? And they have a less favored crate, meaning the more favored the crate, the more money you're going to get out of it from the outpost. So when you go to the merchant, you have to spend your own money on these, by the way, which are anywhere from 1,500 to like 2,300 gold per item. At each outpost, also, they give you a bulk of one. I think there's like 7 different ones in total. But at each outpost, they're not going to get. So, like, say you're at Plunder. And the favorable one is the assorted gemstones. You're not going to be able to buy the assorted gemstones from Plunder. So instead, they're going to give you 3 crates to buy of raw sugar, which is a bigger or more valuable at another outpost. So when you're making these loops, this is what they do is they get their grade 5 and then they start making loops. They just keep on, because by the time you make a full loop, the timer is reset, and by the time you make it all the way back to that first one, you can repurchase everything. So by the time you make a first loop, I mean, I've sold, I think like 8 or 9 pieces at a favored outpost, and at that one outpost, I made like 120K.
It's ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So on one lap, you're looking at, once you start stacking them up, it can eventually get to the point where you're making almost, I think 750,000 in one lap. So if you know what I mean, the ideology was for those players who don't want to get into the PvP, they don't want to go hunting down randomness. It's a secure. I mean, obviously it doesn't protect you from people running up on you, but at the same time, you know what I mean? It's simple, it's easy. You make your roundabouts, you're just chilling with your buddy, you know what I mean? And as long as you keep everything separated. But I think it was a great idea. I think it was a great idea because these alliance servers, I got a buddy who does alliance servers on the constant. He's in one of those discords. And when they started doing this, they had I think it was 4 or 5 galleons making this loop, all with grade 5 merchant emissaries. Every lap was a little over a mil for everybody.
Jeez.
For everybody.
Yo, I'm all about it, man. If they added more stuff like an in-game economy, like that's the coolest thing ever to me. Because I grew up on
Absolutely.
MMOs where the price you pay for something is what, like, it's like all supply and demand.
Yeah.
Like if they added more stuff like that in Sea of Thieves, I'm all about that, man. That would keep so many people interested.
Mm-hmm. And it's just
Yeah, a lot
it's
of
an easy
people.
money maker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
If
gonna
they're
say a
gonna
lot of
keep
people
on
just want to
coming
make
out with
gold. So
cosmetics that are 7, 6, 8 million gold a pop, you know what I mean? They gotta
Yeah.
have, not everybody's gonna want to go out PvPing for it, or even
like
PvEing
another
for it
thing
because this
that's
isn't
weird
even
about it
PvE.
is like I haven't even really heard about this stuff yet. Like right now, you telling me about it is the most I've heard about it. Unless I go watch like a big YouTuber, I'm not gonna know about this kind of thing. I feel like a lot of people don't even know about these trade routes yet.
Mm-hmm.
I just told the guy about him today.
It's insane. And the little book. So if you don't understand, there's a little book right next to the merchant that will tell you
Yeah. Gives you
um,
each outpost
what is favored
demand
at each
stuff.
out. It's going to tell you what's favored, and it's going to tell you what you're going to buy in bulk there. It's not going to tell you what the low end is going to be. So that's why you always just want to sell when you're making these loops. You never want to sell anything but the favored at each one. You know what I mean? And then when you're done, like when you're finally done with the whole thing, then you can eventually just go in and sell it because you can sell it all at one outpost. It's just you want to maximize money. Excuse me. You want to hit those outposts with the
Do you know
appropriate.
if those crates count as like delivering merchant items on
Yes,
time? Okay, so that would definitely
I believe
spike a lot of
so. Hold
people
on.
doing them.
I'll have to do a little bit more looking into that, but I'm pretty sure somebody was saying that this is helping out with a lot of people's merchant accommodations and shit like
So I
that
know
too.
for a lot of experienced players, like they just haven't done the merchant things,
Yeah, I've
and
never done
they
it.
might be interested in like actually getting some of those accommodations done.
Right.
Um, but for
They
me,
came out with
even
a whole new set of accommodations for that alone too.
oh, okay, yeah, I
So
haven't even really looked at it. See, like that's the kind of stuff I never do in the game, but I need to learn because that's how I'm gonna find big hauls and things to steal. Like knowing that route is good for the PVE player and the PvP player. It's good for everybody.
Good
there's
to, yeah, it's good for
there's really
everybody,
not like a
really.
set route. Most people what they tend to do is they take whatever like say you start off at a sanctuary. Your ideal route would probably be to go down to Golden Sands through Plunder, over to Spire, over to Morrows, back up to Galleon to Dagger, and make that loop that way.
Yeah, there's a
Whereas
website that has the ideal route. There's multiple websites that they publish it every week when they
based
get the new
on where you
information.
start
They
at,
publish them, and
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
have that at all.
it's crazy. Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen about them so far. So people have specific routes that they do now. They have that down already. It's been like a week,
mm-hmm.
and they
But
already
dude, if
have
they
that.
added an in-game like economy, that would be the best thing
Yeah, a
ever.
bigger one than this would be. It would be really fun.
Every MMO I've ever played that had an in-game economy always had like a third-party website that showed you how much items were worth, which would make people go and like farm those items.
Right.
And if people really need gold, they're going to be out doing that sort of thing.
let's talk about some of the things that people are kind of frustrated with. I guess you could say. There's been a lot of like I know we talked about what is it server hopping. Another big issue a lot of people are having issues with double gunning, quick swapping, shit like that. What do we think about people that are having issues with that?
I mean, it's just like any other game, you know. If you have your issue with it, it's tough. But this they did what they don't. I mean, the quick swap is what it is. You can switch guns a little bit faster, but if you're in a PvP situation, you can learn how to get around that. You
Right.
know how fast you switch your guns is kind of irrelevant to me. You know, but that's coming from me. I've been playing the game for a while, so you know I get it though. People are upset. But again, you can't get mad at somebody for how they want to play the game. It's not like they're cheating or they're breaking the game to make this happen. And I understand quick swapping is it could be an exploit, but it is what it is. It's a patched exploit at this point. If you're still using it, that's fine. But it's just a part of the game at this point. If you're getting mad at people for using two guns, that it's not like they got to cheat to get the two guns. They're perfectly allowed to have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like me when I used to get really mad at people for running around, or for running away, from a fight, and it sucks, But at this point, it's like now, it's still frustrating, but at the same time, like that's how those people want to play this game.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
perfectly
the same
fine.
boat. I think running two guns takes skill, just like being good with a sword
Yeah,
also takes
yeah.
skill.
I think
running two guns is not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
I think
That's
the
the
problem
thing.
is here's what and this was another thing that I actually learned from watching Coop too, Coop. What people don't realize is that even if you're running a sword with another weapon, you're doing the same thing as a double gunner. When you're running a
I mean,
sniper,
you're always using two weapons. The sword is still a weapon.
the sword is still a weapon, but like remember, I don't know if I showed or if you know about it, Jim, but even on a gun with a gun and a sword, the quick swapping is the same but slightly different in the sense of it's a reload faster, not a weapon swap.
Yeah.
So the argument that gets me and a bunch of other double gunners frustrated is that you're literally doing the same thing. It just doesn't look the same because you're not using two guns.
Yeah, because the sword doesn't have to reload.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So that to me is a dull argument in a sense.
I think the whole argument of what weapons people are using is a dull argument.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, I don't
use
think-
what
I
you're
don't
comfortable
think
with.
What weapons people use should have no effect on how you know what I mean.
Every weapon has an advantage.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Everybody's got to each their own, and I've used every one of them. I've used every single weapon in the game.
I've been called every kind of bot in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
A sniper bot, a blunder bot, a pistol
Yeah,
bot.
Mhm.
get made fun of for playing with every weapon, and it's just because. It's just because the person you bested that person in that moment right there. They lost and they just couldn't handle that. So that's the only real argument with the people who complain about two guns. I couldn't care less about you know what I mean? Like change it up on me. I don't usually fight that many double gunners, you know what I mean? So I would like to fight more of them. Use two guns, switch them up. Keep me on my toes.
Right.
Use a damn sword. I use two guns. Come slashing down, you know what I mean? Come swinging that thing from across the damn ship as you sprint at me. That's fine, man. It goes back to some of these people are just not cut out to play Sea of Thieves.
If I ever complain about the sword, it's most likely because my guns didn't work the way they were supposed to.
Well,
Right.
that happens,
I'm not the
that
type
happens.
of person to just be like, the sword, I hate it. Because there's a lot of people out there, especially in like the PvP and like double gunning community.
Yeah,
if you're dividing the two, they just hate like sword so much, which I don't hate. I think there's some things that are broken, but also the blunder's broken.
Absolutely.
Like half the time I try not to use the blunder because I don't like one-shotting people. It's just too easy sometimes. I like the skill factor in using a pistol sniper, but
right.
Also
the challenge that
really
derives
works.
from it. What about adding a new gun or a new weapon?
Yeah, I'm about it.
What would you like? What would you like to see? That's the question. What would you like to see in here? Because I already got mine in mind, but
like a bow and arrow or something like that.
Yeah, because it has to be something. It can't, you know what I mean? I can't. It can't be like a semi-automatic rifle, or you know what I mean? Something crazy like that.
Right.
It's got to be
an arrow.
with
a Gatling
you know
gun.
What I mean? Like if I could throw an axe at you or something, that'd be pretty freaking cool. But like, it has to be along that line, Like Xjam said, a bow and arrow. That's perfectly fine,
You know what I would like to see?
Sick, to be honest.
Let's hear it.
a handheld grapple gun.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say
Tell
that.
me though,
I don't know how I'd feel about that though.
but don't make
I
it.
think
Don't make
that
it a
I think.
weapon. Make it like a.
Well,
Make it
yeah,
like
that's
another
yeah,
bucket thing or a shovel, like another spot
yeah, a piece of
that.
equipment.
Because think about it, how many times have you been just that hairpin off of
Yeah,
boarding
but that's
somebody's
yeah, that
boat?
was gonna be my point though. They deserve to not have you on this ship if you missed. You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of I feel like if you give people a harpoon gun, you're just taking all chances away from every single player who has no PvP experience whatsoever. If
True.
I could
Depends what it
harpoon onto your ship, you're never ever gonna escape anything ever again. I don't even need a ship. What do I need a ship for at that point? I don't even need to. I'll just get on. I'll just harpoon you from wherever I am and
I
just
look at that both
appear on
ways.
your ship. You
Like,
know,
it could be really cool, and
it
the
would be a
would be
sick,
cool.
yeah, maybe like a limited use item.
Imagine 4 boarders on one galleon, and you all shoot out of a cannon and then grapple a boat with all of
Yeah,
your
Fucking
handheld
Spider
weapons.
Man,
is.
that shit, dude.
It
Uh,
is.
that's
It's
a rough one,
literally
but it's getting closer.
eliminating all other like, dude. If you're not an experienced player and you get into a fight with somebody with a grappling gun who's been playing this game for 3 years, your ship is not safe. Your ladders are no longer relevant. I could get on your ship from any angle. I could hop down from the mast, from the top of the mast in the crow's nest like Spider-Man. You won't even know. I'll shoot the mast. It'd be like a silent board on a whole other level. I'll come flying up from the ground up. It would be cool though to have as like a if it was like a cooldown or like a limited amount of use.
What about something like you buy, like maybe at like
Well, yeah, if you
you
pick it up, if you can pick it up and then you got like a certain amount of uses out of it, that would be pretty cool. I would like that. A
I could
consumable, if you
imagine
will.
the plays that would come out of this though. Like you were
That's
saying,
what I'm saying.
the
That you know what I
content
mean?
would.
It limits your ability, and that would be the huge because you don't want to just completely annihilate
Yeah, I don't know
the
how I feel about a
player.
handheld grappling gun, but like ropes would be completely realistic for a pirate.
That yeah, that
Ropes
too.
would
Like
be
I could
cool.
throw
Okay.
Throw a
a rope or
lasso,
something.
pull
Yeah,
someone with a
Could
lasso,
you
like slow
imagine
them
lassoing
down,
somebody on an island as he's trying to
swing
run
from a
away?
mast. Yeah, that'd be
Swinging
hilarious.
from the
it would be
mast,
pretty
that would be
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah,
It would be.
that
Because like
would
a
be.
lasso wouldn't be too broken, and that could be in your item radial too. Like
That I would take fully.
like
You
a
can just
timer on it.
yeah,
Or
you can just
something.
add that into the game. A harpoon gun though, yeah, that would be crazy because and that's just coming from me like thinking about how easy it would make everything.
Right.
Throwables gets kind of weird because like most of the things you want to be able to get out of a barrel, and if you're gonna throw like an axe, say like you have a weapon that you can throw, if you want to throw like an axe, like you would have to go pick it up off the ground or something. You couldn't just have like 5 axes in your inventory, you know.
Yeah.
But also like
It's fucking
a
Assassin's
bow and
Creed.
arrow
Yeah, yeah.
or like a crossbow or something is something you could definitely have and just
Crossbow would be
reload on your
cool.
ship,
Yeah,
just like
definitely.
you out of the ammo box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, yeah, crossbow would be sick as
Any
hell.
kind of projectile that you can like reload on your boat and have a limited number of shots when you're like off your boat or whatnot, I think would be a great thing to add to the game.
Give me like a hand cannon.
Yeah.
Does half health,
Right.
knocks you back like a blunder, but it hits you like a cannonball.
That'd be cool.
I'd be cool with that.
Hell yeah.
Like what they did with Wraith Balls when Wraith Balls were introduced, make them
Oh,
super
man.
rare, but like really fun to use.
Yeah, they
Not
only
everyone-
come from
Powerful.
one commodity. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Like if you want to make like a keg ball or something,
No.
Oh
you
my
get it
god, man,
leading
that
a
would be
world event.
something else. Yeah, that would be something else.
That's the
I'd be-
perfect thing to add.
yeah, I would, dude. A keg ball, throwable kegs, or like or cannonball kegs, dude. That would be a game changer, and it would be hysterical, and
Yeah,
it
they
would be
Or
really
like-
good.
Like dynamite or something, you could lob really
Oh
far.
my god, imagine
Dynamite, you know they had it back then too. In those times, they had dynamite
absolutely.
sticks and stuff. Hell yeah,
they could
that's
add a million new cursed cannonballs. Like
dude.
something
I
they
would
have
be
to
really, really satisfied with more cursed cannonballs.
that would be cool. Definitely.
I would have no problem with more cursed cannonballs. Or like, you know, like, well, if we're talking about the wraith balls and stuff, yeah, all of them. I want all of them. More crazy stuff. Again, they make it something for the newer players to get a hold of. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah, we've all like pretty much been playing the game since before chain shots, blunder bombs, harpoons.
Mm-hmm.
Before there
Yeah.
was more than one food item. Just keep adding more items to the game, more pocket items. I think that's something they can always do. That
Mm-hmm.
helps um, decrease the skill gap. That helps
Even
fun and
even the playing
content
field, yeah.
creation. Yeah,
Yeah. That's like
it's all
what they
good.
did with blunder bombs and fire bombs. Like however much we hate fire bombs and all of that stuff. Jam made a great point the other night on his stream, man. And I was too. I was blinded by this firebomb that this guy threw, and I never thought in a million years, like, damn, okay, maybe they're not just being annoying with the fire strats; they're just trying to blind us. It's a terrible strat. You know what I mean? You have like 2 seconds to not be seen, but it could make that difference. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
saying?
That's
But
like
it
the
just
first
gives
time
them
I saw
more.
that. Actually, like I never really thought about it until that moment. I've been
Dude, I
fired
was
so many
blinded.
times, but this dude
When,
was just trying to board our
Ooh.
boat, threw fire at our boat because he missed the ladder, hit our boat, caught me on fire, and I just couldn't see him in the water because of the glare of the fire on my screen.
Right.
Not that that's important. It's just like I don't know. Maybe it had
Opens
more of
up
an
a new
advantage
tab
than
for 'em.
we originally thought it did.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. And this is what they need to keep adding for the new players. Like it's good for us, it's fun for us. We get to do this stuff too, but it really gives. We're all I see, and the more seasoned players who want to see the game go further than TDMs and fucking nonsense. Not yeah, God, I shouldn't have said that. Lord knows the TDM community to come kill me for that, but they
Right.
just they
Half
need to
the
keep.
TDM community is weird because they'll flex on you for shooting you in the foot. It's like because a
True.
foot shot does the same amount as a headshot, they have no
Yeah,
room
it
to
don't
talk
matter
about
how.
skill.
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't
all
matter
about
how.
light and micro aiming and skills. If they had different damage for different parts of the body in this game, no one
Dude,
would
it
be
would be
that big of a flex. Like
no.
body shots, headshots are all that matter in other shooters. Like I don't know. It's just it's weird that people will flex on you for two tapping with single shot weapons.
Right. Do you think
It
they
is
would
weird.
benefit the game in a certain way to have like an increased headshot?
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
I think it
It
would be
would
pretty cool.
really for PvP, it would really
The skill.
show the skill of a
Yeah, it would
player.
really, really, really drive that wedge in there to see who was really handling it out there
Don't
and who was
mind
really
a
just.
sniper nerf, like 70 damage to the head, 50 to the body. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that I would not mind that at all. And it's coming from I use a sniper mainly. I'll switch up my other weapon, but sniper is always in the mix. So
Right.
I'll take that any day. Give me a half for a body and 70 for the head. That would be sick. It would
But
only help me improve my aim.
you know what I'm gonna ask next. Then, if that was gonna be something that they would consider doing, they'd obviously have to fix one thing:
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna
hit
say. It'll never
registration.
hit registration being the problem that it is now is what's gonna hold them back from ever being able to do a headshot multiplier or anything close to that because they can't even figure out getting the bullets to travel through the environment in the right way
Hmm.
to register on a player. It makes it a nearly impossible task, and it's something they probably wouldn't even consider until they nailed hit reg down.
So
But it would definitely help.
in the latest patch notes that they just did for this last patch, they acknowledge that hit reg is still an issue, and they are working on it. I don't remember past ones. I'd like to go back and read past patch notes, but do you feel like it's worse now, better now, hit registration? Like,
um I don't know. It varies day to day for
Yeah.
or does it
me.
depend on the
I think
server input lag?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors, so it's
I think
like,
it's always really been the same though. I don't
yeah,
think it
I
really
agree.
varies that much. Some days
I
you get
think,
your registration more than you other days,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I've talked about this so many times that there's no point in like memeing about it and like being frustrated about it. At this point, like I don't think they're gonna fix this until they make like a Sea of Thieves 2 and optimize it better. I feel like it's just too deep to like actually fix. 'Cause
yeah,
they
that was gonna
they
be
said
my
they're
thing.
gonna fix it a lot, and they just never
I
really
don't think it's something that can be fixed at this point. The way that Sea of Thieves is, there is no other game on Xbox like Sea of Thieves, right?
Mhm.
It's just not. There isn't anything like it. The way the guns are, there's no aim assist. The bullets travel in real time in Sea of Thieves. They go through the environment. It's not. You know what I mean? It's just different. It's just a different beast that nobody has ever really come in contact with. What game have you ever played in your life that's ever had a problem with the bullets registering? I can't name one. I can't name a single game that's ever
There's
had the
other
problem.
games like Call of
I
Duty
was gonna say Call
and
of Duty's had their own issues with.
Tarkov
Halo has
have.
had bad hit registration complaints back in the day.
Well, yeah, but at
Um,
the
What's
same
different though? Those
time,
are
like,
all
yeah, it's way
automatic
different,
guns. This is
and
not a
it's
single
still,
fire
yeah,
game.
this is a different animal. I don't think anybody's come in contact with, and I don't think they'll be able to fix it anytime soon, if at all.
I think the demon that makes this game so different also is the fact that controller players don't get that aim assist anymore. When you hit your shots on a
That's
controller,
true.
you're hitting it just as well as a mouse and keyboard player. You had to line that shot up.
Yeah.
There's no compensation there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's
nothing is taking. There's no
so
grabbing or pulling.
yeah. So I
I
mean,
talked about this yesterday. Um, I think it's different. Everything about Sea of Thieves is different because the weapons are single fire.
yes,
Yep.
In other games, whenever there's or not hit reg, whenever there's aim assist, um, there's also bloom involved, so there's some randomizer to it. If
true.
they added aim assist to a
Yeah, which is
single
like the
shot
dumbest
guns,
thing in the
it'd be
world.
kind of broken.
Oh yeah, I'd pull you from, especially
But
with the new
I also
controls and
play
the-
with like 5 or 6 really good controller players, including BT, who just hit their shots. They've played enough time to learn how to aim with the controller, put in the work, and learned it all. Like
Do you
it's definitely
think?
doable
Do you
without
think if
aim
they
assist.
added an aim assist to controller, would that tip the scales? Would that make things worse? Would that?
Yeah, I think it's fine the way it is
I
without
think
aim
it's fine the way it is
assist.
too,
I
especially
agree.
with the sword, because I don't know how aim assist would work with the sword.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it
just
would
getting dragged
or,
over and shit.
like however much it would help newer players with their aiming. I feel like it would mess me up completely. I feel like it would take everything away because it's a different feel without aim assist than it is with. You know what I mean? It
Almost
would
every
throw me
gun
off through a loop.
is like, I don't know. It gets to a point where like you could be sniping from really far away as multiple people and just be two tapping people on another boat.
Right.
I don't know. It's like the single shot weapon thing really, that would really like make me feel defeated.
Yeah,
if
and
I
I
was
think
fighting
Rare would really
obviously
up the
controller
ante with it.
players. And like Sea of Thieves isn't that competitive of a game for it to
To where
even
it would need
think
it. Yeah.
about needing that kind of thing, you know?
I
right.
kind of like the idea of not having aim assist because it makes it a
that
little
Sea
bit
of Thieves
harder.
Is
isn't a
that
competitive-
and you can't. Nobody can use the excuse anymore either. I feel like that
Yeah.
that excuse has been such a crutch for people that it takes away that presence of mind of being able to say controller players are good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to say that controller players are only good because of aim assist, and it's
Yeah.
like
It's always
there's
that
so
argument.
much
I
more
think
that has to
a
happen.
perfect game for the controller player who likes to sweat
Right.
Yeah,
without
it really is.
assist. Like you can win battles just for having better game knowledge. You don't even have to have the best of aim.
I swear, like half of my fights are that right there. What he just said, like
Game knowledge.
I just get, yeah,
I played like 1,400 hours of this game on controller, and I know that cannons and naval on controller feels way better than on keyboard and mouse.
Oh,
It's not
absolutely.
yeah. I played keyboard and mouse myself. I think it's horrendous what you guys have to go through on a cannon just to aim that thing.
But also, if we're talking about the competitive argument, like if you're really competitive, the new Xboxes can support keyboard and mouse. And,
Yes,
like keyboard and mouse is always going to be more competitive because of the
True.
amount of inputs you have than over a controller. So if you're playing Sea of Thieves to be competitive, which you probably shouldn't, there's no money involved and there's no point in that really. But you should try keyboard and mouse. But if you want to stick to controller, you can hang just as well if you put the time in.
True.
And it goes back to what we said earlier about the right stick jump on. You know what I mean? Clicking which you have to optimize your gameplay. If you want to hang with everybody, you gotta change it
You
up.
gotta
You gotta
make the
find,
changes.
like
Yep.
I'm comfortable with my shots and hitting them in the way that I do because I worked on my sensitivities. I've spent time off stream for hours shooting that little tiny ass bell at the front of the ship.
Dingers.
Dude, you know how long I spent
Dingers.
doing that, working on my aim? Obviously, I mean, if you're not playing the game for stream, then I
Right.
wouldn't necessarily recommend unless you're super into the game and you want to get your aim better. Yeah, absolutely.
There's always
But
ways.
we do this thing to just to keep fresh. But like at the same time, I'm adjusting my sensitivities. I'm doing a little bit of research. I'm finding out what's comfortable for me and making it happen. That's really what this game is. That's why I love the no aim assist.
Yeah.
You have to hit your shot.
Hit your
You have to hit
shots,
that
kid.
shit. No, yeah, you gotta hit your
Hit
shot. Dude.
your
Like,
shots,
It's
kid.
not
There's
nobody's.
two
There's
types of
none.
Xbox players. You get on a boat and you see how they turn, and you're like, this dude hasn't changed his default settings. He
Yeah.
got on and he's on like 2 sensitivity. Or
A
you get
60
on a
FOV.
break with BT, Karna, and Allen, and they play like they're keyboard and mouse players.
Yeah.
It's all just adjusting and dialing in your sensitivities and learning the game, man. It has nothing to do with keyboard and mouse versus controller, especially in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at fucking NickMercs, man. NickMercs is playing at the highest level on Call of Duty on Twitch. Is like one of the most sub 2 channels on all of Twitch, and he will not put that controller down. So it's just proof that you can be good if you put the time in.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like anything else. Just put the effort in. If you want to hang with the people with keyboard and mouse, hang with them. Just
Right.
start doing it. They have their disadvantages just as much as we have ours,
True.
and just as much as we have our advantages, they have theirs.
Mhm.
It's equally balanced, in my opinion. I think everything is perfectly balanced between keyboard and mouse and a controller on Sea of Thieves.
Right.
Everybody needs skill to do everything on that game. You can't just hop on a keyboard and mouse and start two-tapping fools left and right. You know what I mean? You're not going to be doing that.
Right.
You got to incorporate jumping and moving and doing all this other shit. You got what? You're going to at least be on 3 keys and a space bar. You know what I mean? Now
Right.
you got to switch. I got to switch weapons. So I'm either going to hit a button or I'm going to go to my mouse and use the scroll wheel or something. Like there's so many different things going on.
Like, I like to think that I play this game at a very high level in terms of PvP.
Absolutely.
And half the time, I have Xbox players on my boat. Like, literally half the people I play with are on controller or on Xbox and playing keyboard and mouse. Like, whatever works for you, man. Just don't complain about it.
Yeah,
Right.
just make it work
Make it
because other
work.
people are doing it. You know what I mean? And half of the Xbox players we know are on an Xbox One. I'm like the only one that has a new Xbox. I'm literally like the only one, and I've already played from the one, so I don't need, I made it happen on the one just as much as I made it happen here. I just have a little bit better,
Norm
of an
times.
operating system now.
Right.
But they all do it. I know keyboard and mouse players on Xbox, on the Xbox One, dude. The screen tears and the frame tears that you get from that.
Yep.
That's horrendous, but they make it happen, and they're
True.
really good at what they do.
Well, we're going to start wrapping things up. At the beginning, I asked you guys if you had any clips that you might wanted to show off, kind of give the guys some examples of what kind of content to expect from your streams. Jam, did you have one? Did you?
Yeah, I linked in Thicc Talk episode suggestion. I linked one of my highlight videos with a timestamp.
Okay.
I think it's a pretty good representation of what we do.
All right,
on
let me
stream.
go here.
I'm excited.
All right, let's see.
Should be about a minute or 2 minutes. Not like
Well, my
nothing crazy.
man's got here. We're going to put it over you guys real quick here. It says it's at 9:54. All right, so let's see what we got going on here.
Yep, the one attack now. Okay, yep. One's dead. I think your desktop
Nice, one
audio
second
might
shot.
be off.
Guy's running at you. He's dead. All right, 2 dead. 1 coming up from mid.
Should be
One shot.
going.
Jumped off. He doesn't have any ammo, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ammo box here, mid-mast.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. I
Still in
hear
the
it.
water.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep, let's go.
Oof.
I'm gonna see if I can get some fire.
Oh, there's another
Okay.
brig coming in from the north. We gotta get these Athenas on our road.
Okay.
I
Alright.
see it, but I don't think it's coming this direction though.
All right.
But yeah,
I say we
go-
get him
I
on.
could-
Yeah,
I
just-
could get
just
him
Was
on.
that a gilded?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a
Sure
good
was.
I think it's actually headed to the west, northwest. I don't think it's coming our way.
Drop that rowie there. Let's go, boys.
Good shit, boyos.
Good shit, guys.
What the hell? What the hell? Oh my kegs!
Dude,
Oh, shit,
kegs
dude, look
fucking
out, dude, there's a big
raining.
thing coming right at you. I've never seen that.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
fuck.
Sorry, I popped it before it got too close. That's all I did.
Yo, what the fuck? Look at this trail. This was the sketchiest crew I've ever seen in my life.
Actually unbelievable.
Wow.
Fuck yo 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 yo.
Dude, they were sailing with this stuff, man.
That's
They just had that.
incredible. Incredible.
I love that clip, man.
Such a-
That's one of my favorite all-time.
That's one of the best clips you've had ever, by far. Because it's just so, and like your raw reaction is just utter shock.
Oh my kegs.
You know, yeah, that's not.
I have a whole
That's
YouTube
not-
video just on that one.
Not
steal,
like a
so.
scripted thing, dude. Oh yeah, I've seen it too. It's a fantastic deal, dude.
All right.
It's just that's the best part about Sea of Thieves right there.
Indeed, sir. BT, we got your clip here, buddy. You sent it. I grabbed it from you earlier. Let's have a look at this one, shall we? Let me get my camera out of the way. Full screen, back it on up. This one I personally clipped, and I'm proud of this one because the timing couldn't be more immaculate.
Make sure you got that volume
The
on.
hell you can get into in this game about this stuff. You don't know what the hell you can get into in this game.
Go on ship, go on ship.
Yeah, that's my bad, boys.
Bro, that was.
No problem, no problem.
That tough is.
One
Bro,
more time.
I-
One more
You don't know
time.
what the hell
I
you can get into in this game.
absolutely could. I mean, you could not even.
Go on ship, go on ship.
Just the fact that you just
Yeah, that's
stood
my
there.
bad, boys.
He just stood there, and he's like, his
slowly
face was
panned
like,
over on him. Bro,
that.
that
Made
shit.
some BT clips.
That was awesome, man.
So many times something happens on BT's stream and then he just stands there with a blank stare. It's
Dude,
the
I just
funniest
don't
thing
know.
to watch, man.
Oh, that's just like my thing. I don't know what the hell to do half of the time. I couldn't line that up anymore. But I'm literally talking about how you don't know what the hell you can get into in this game. Anything can happen, and I turn, I take a cannonball to the mouth, and I just get yeeted off of the ship. And then, it just doesn't work out any better. It's constantly. You caught that keg situation the other day, Jem. You just seen that one.
I don't know. One thing I do terribly with streaming is I don't look into my camera enough, and like BT does it perfectly, because that's like
It's hard when your camera's
Like-
angled.
It's
yeah.
set. It's
The way
sensitive.
my camera is so that I could do handstands across my room with the same camera and not have to adjust it. But
Pro
yeah,
strats.
Pro
I'm,
strats.
Strats.
I'm
Pros.
jelly of BT being able to look into the camera for the additional edge.
Right?
It really sets the moment, It really pulls it all together. It shows them you're just either your frustration, your confusion. It could portray so many different things. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna throw my hand
camera sits
in a
the
clip
CD
here.
rack right behind you.
I'm gonna throw my hand in a clip here that I had happen a little while back with my boy Brill. If he's in here, he's gonna remember this one pretty good. This one was actually, I think this was back in my controller days because I've recently switched to mouse and keyboard for the most part. But let's, this was a pretty good one right here. I'm not gonna lie. So, oh, there's killed one. Let me restart that. Bop. Killed one. Oh yeah, they got. Oh my god, they got a bunch of shit.
Need help?
Nope. Oh. Nope. Don't need any help out of that.
Oh,
So you and
oh my
Brill are
god.
original teammates, huh?
Oh, me and Brill. Actually, the story behind Brill. Me and
Funny.
BT. Actually, we were slooping together, and we ran up on him, and we'll call him Squeaker because that's what he was. This is a Squeaker. They just finished the Fort of the Damned, and we had ran up on them, sunk them, got all their loot. We were actually so right before this was funny. We actually aligned up. Remember the dude we aligned up with? There was a guy we randomly
there was
met.
some random guy, some new. He was like some new
We
player.
asked him, we were like, hey, you want to go jump at this Fort of the Dam? Because we didn't know what it was yet. We thought, hell, we didn't even know if it was a brig or a galleon. And so we ended up alliancing with him. We went over there. We sunk their boat, left his boat, got all the stuff. He was on our boat, but what we forgot to do was take down the Alliance flag. So they went back and grabbed the Alliance from his boat.
They got half the fort anyway.
They got half the fort anyway. And then they met up with us at Reapers, and we had been talking and stuff for a while. Like, that was definitely that was some good shit, man. That was fun. But yeah, that's where Bro came from.
That's where
He's
he's
been the homie ever since.
He's
been the homie ever since. So we're gonna start
Shout
rapping.
out to new Tom, dude. You're
Big new
sorry,
Tom.
I just read that. Adam. Yeah, dude, I met that guy the other day on Sea of Thieves. He was a lord.
Oh yeah, the Tom Squared we had
His
on
name
there.
was Tom, yeah. So I had to just let him be,
Tom Squared. Well, we're gonna start wrapping this up. I appreciate you guys for taking this time to hang out and talk about the single game streamer life and some Sea of Thieves content and whatnot. So we'll definitely be putting this YouTube video together over the weekend, and we'll be putting your socials together. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time.
Man. Thanks for having us.
We'll
Anytime you want to do it again, just let us know.
Absolutely, man. Guys, I appreciate all of y'all for hanging out tonight. Check out the YouTube video this weekend. Appreciate you guys.